Good morning, everyone. Hope we're all doing good. I'll just give it a couple of seconds just to wait for see if there's anyone else who comes in, and also just to make sure that people can actually see me. So we have, who have we got in? Who's in first place today? Tommy Trades. Winner. You get a gold medal for being first. Resale for Rescue comes in a very close second, so silver, and we have Bold Finds in bronze position. That's everyone in today. So so far, I think there may well be a few more people. So yeah, get those questions in. Got Scouts Dan in as well. As I say, little bit of a chat today about my business policies. These are not kind of like what I'll class as eBay business policies. That's a completely separate thing. These are like what I try to run my business with. So I've popped down 10 different aspects of what I think is like pretty important to like run a business. And this will definitely help with sales. So what I'm trying to do is actually just give you like a blueprint. You're going to have to like potentially go out and like do a little bit of homework yourself. Homework sounds like a really weird thing, but maybe like just if it just gives you something to think about. Maybe you're doing this already, and maybe you're not. So definitely like have a look at your business. This will work with if you're full-time, if you're part-time, if this is a side hustle. So having these kind of business policies in place will definitely help. So right, who else we got in? Scouts Dan, hi James, who made it. Joe Video, do you think you made a big time, bro? In morning. George K, good morning, Simon. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go start off with my first policy. Is it a policy? It's a difficult one for me to actually say whether it's a policy or it's just like best practice. So I suppose I'm kind of like, if you are new, if you're like kind of just discovered my channel, my name's Simon. I go by the Gentleman Marketeer on my YouTube channel, on my what else is it? Instagram, yeah, Instagram as well. So I think I've actually got it all set up. So if there is anything you need, then obviously like just ping me over a message. But let's start off with the first one. All right, so number one, okay, source items for your desired profit margins. So like, there's a couple of things to pick out on that one. First and foremost is don't buy something just because it's cheap. You need to like be making sure that you actually buy things that are going to like fit your model. So by model, what I mean is if you're going to be buying I'm just going to put it out there, like a DVD player, for example, and the vendor wants like £1 for it, and it looks like it's amazing. You need to make sure A, it's going to sell, okay? B, like what do you need to do to it to actually get it to sell? And 3, will it like meet your margins? So for example, like for me personally, I say try, like kind of with the the biggest caveat, I try to like stick to £15 profit on each item. So some like go higher, some go lower, but on an average, that's what I want to be like aiming for. So going back to like a video player, if you're buying that for £1, you get it home and think it's going to make £20 profit, which does suit your model. So if you're trying to like keep like X amount of money in profit in it, the if you get it home and then suddenly you realize that it's absolutely cream crackered, it doesn't work. So that profit margin is suddenly like going to be like dramatically like reduced. So was that £1 purchase a good purchase, or was that something you actually go, well, do you know what? You have to be buying it even under the proviso of, if it's broken, will it get to like your desired profit margin? So a key part of any business, whether that's like part-time, whether that's full-time, is knowing if you pick something up, will it actually sell for what you actually hope it's going to sell for? And sometimes it is a case of like, it's not even hope. We're very, very lucky that we do have mobile phones, and 9 times out of 10 you can actually check to see what it's going to sell for. So you can go onto eBay, you can go onto Terapeak to actually see like what the value of things are. So for me, that's probably one of the most important like business models, business policies that anyone can have. Buy something that's going to make you money, which sounds really like a basic and like probably a little bit condescending, but I will be like, when I first started, I was absolutely buying, like I was buying in bulk, buying loads of stuff because it was so cheap. But when I actually did look at it, like it probably didn't like kind of like sell as quickly, and B, it probably like made me like no money. I think in like when I was first starting this, I think my profit margins after everything being done was under £4 per item. So making £4, like all that work, and I was actually like literally making no money whatsoever. So I was the fool at that point and didn't have a handle on what I was buying. So for me, that's definitely like one of the big ones. So that would be my first one. So before I go on to the next one, let's have a look, see who else is in. George K, morning, Simon. Siobhan's in. Secret Carper is in. Tommy, for me, be a bad purchase, but I don't have repairing electric as part of my business. If I was a tinkerer, part of my business process to make large margins. Yeah, exactly. I quite agree. It's definitely like I just used the term. I use the term for a VCR, but that really doesn't it comes into anything. It might be a jumper, it might be a pair of shoes, it might be an oil painting. You just need to like know what the margins are, whether you can actually think, and it might be a range. You might be going, well, oh, do you know what, this might make 10, but it might make 20. If you've got like an average of 15, you might actually be happy to actually go, do you know what? If this one makes like 15, but I sell a couple more at like 25, that's going to like even itself out. So definitely that's something that I would like, without a doubt, look at. Next, which is number 2. Only sell items that fit in your shipping model. Now, I will put a caveat on this one, because if you sell everything, that might be video recorders, it might be skateboards, it might be sombreros, it might be trainers, shoes, whatever. Like if you're selling lots of different items, this model is going to be incredibly difficult, because that side of it is difficult to manage. You need to have lots of size boxes, you need to have lots of poly mailers, and you need a truckload of bubble wrap, all that side of it. So in that instant, that's quite a hard model to control, because if you're picking up things that are very big, you need to spend extra time on doing it. So it might be, and I am a big advocate of specializing in and niching. And I know it is a bit of an unpopular one. And I think the longer you do it, the more you get for me, I just got disillusioned with the whole packing side of it. And if you've seen any of my other videos, I make such a I moan so much about the fact that having to like pack something that's like slightly out of my kind of like my comfort zone, like all I do is absolutely moan about it. And I know, but I've chosen like a path which is I want to post all my items in a poly mailer. So poly mailers, I've got them all set next to me, and what I want to do is physically like kind of pop everything into like one of these. Now I do have multiple size ones of these, so fundamentally like it should like still think so if it's a poly mailer it will like gonna like physically go into one of these or a bigger one. Now if I've got multiple orders, or if I've got something that's absolutely like kind of like a big kind of like leather coat or something, and I don't have a bag big enough, at that point, yeah, I'll probably look to actually get a box. But I would say 99% of the time, I will absolutely be using like poly bags. So I suppose like going to like, if you're an everything seller, and there's nothing wrong with being an everything seller. That's, I think, the best way to learn how to sell online, whether that's Vinted, whether it's eBay, whether it's Poshmark or whatever platform it is. I think it is important to like know how to actually sell and what to pick up. So I think over time you will then find out what your hard is, what is the kind of the part of the business which actually makes it quite difficult. So for me, like at the moment, still even to this day, the hard part of my business is finding stock that's desirable. The cost is like low enough for me. I make big enough margins on it as well, and I can get it in volume. So those ones are like super important. But it might be that if you're an everything seller, you will actually go, do you know what? Okay, like I can find loads at a car boot, or I can go to a charity shop and pick up a load of bric-a-brac and cutlery and kind of Blu-ray players, whatever. But the hard part of that side of it may well be when it comes to the postage and packing. Now, I have seen other like resellers like online and on YouTube as well, who have like postage and packing like down to an absolute fine art. So it can be done. It absolutely can be. But for me personally, I'm very much like a case of that I want like just that this is the best model for me. So that's why I've actually gone into selling men's clothing predominantly. Easier to store, easier to kind of post. They don't get damaged when I do send them out. So that's why I choose it that way. Right. Have we got anyone else in? Let's have a quick look. Morning, all morning, Siobhan. We've got Gary in. Good morning, Gary. Give some hot brands. What some hot brands? I think I've actually also like a good like brand to actually think. I'm still a big fan of anything that is like hiking related. So your Berghaus, which like most people think, but things like mountain equipment, love that brand. That's a really good one. If you can find Rab, which is designed for the UK, that's another one that most people will know. But I even picked up a jacket today, which was a downfield jacket by Carrymore. So Carrymore, which is absolutely not a brand I'll be going, oh, whoa, this is amazing. But like there are ones, parts of it, things. So if you go for the Elite, so Carrymore Elite, and you can buy those like a little bit cheaper, they sell well. So it's got 2 pairs of Breeks soil soles, great money in them. Oh my word, I love Breeks, like kind of like Breeks or +4s. Yeah, definitely like kind of thing. If they're the more tweed, the more hunting style they are, the better they will do, definitely. Morning, John. Want to be Jedi? Hi guys. Let's go to start a new eBay store to start. I've started a new eBay store. Yeah, that's oops. What we got on there? I seem to gradually moving into clothing. That's what I mainly pick up. If I'm out about sourcing at all, I think I end up being 8% clothing at 20% higher end collectibles. Yeah, I think that's it's a good model. Sometimes it is important to go for things that you're passionate about, you have some kind of affinity with. Me personally, do I have an affinity for clothing? Not at all. It just I've never been into fashion, surprisingly. It's not really been on my radar. But what I do like is the ability to actually pick up things that are going to make me a reasonable profit, and I can actually get them hopefully reasonably easily as well. If I was going to be really there, I probably should have gone into women's clothing because that really is abundant, but there's so much kind of tut around. But there are some good ones around as well. Right, so that was that one. Next, what I like to do, which is number 3, any items purchased, they need to be processed within a 48-hour period. And I suppose what I mean by that is that if you go to a car boot sale, or if you go to the charity shop, or wherever, you purchase that item, ideally, and I am saying ideally because people's lives are completely different. Some people have full-time jobs, so this is this is just my personal kind of goal. So I give myself 48 hours to actually get the items home, get it cleaned, get it dried, and then get it into my store. So in other words, get it photographed and get it listed. Doesn't have to go live, but then it will go into my draft bank. So 48 hours is what I think. So that will mean that I will never have a death pile. So death piles is just not a thing. So do I have a queue? Absolutely. But even that being said, 40 to 50 items in my queue is normally where I am. I don't normally have much more than that, but it's definitely something for me to make sure that I process this stuff as soon as possible. Now, I suppose the point to make on this one, usually I can probably turn this around within 24 hours. That would be normal for me. I'll try and get it kind of done within that 24 period. So as soon as I get home, I'll inspect anything. If there's anything major flaws that I've missed and I just don't want to sell it, that'd be rejected straight away. Then it will go into the wash to be kind of cleaned. Now, during the summertime or even kind of the spring, it is a million times easier to get this stuff dried. During the winter time, it is definitely harder. So it is very much a case of I'll be hanging it up. So sometimes this 48 hours might turn into a bit longer if I haven't dried enough. If I've had a big lot in, but if I try and keep in the back of my mind that I want to process this and get this sorted. So that's clothing. Okay, so I have to wash that side of it. So how does that work if you've got other things like collectibles, or if you've got electronics? Well, the process is the same. You might not need to do huge amounts of cleaning on it, but you've still got to do testing. You've still got to physically if it's toys, you might actually go, right, okay, well, this goes with that, that goes with that. You still need to process that, and that all takes time. But if you have in your back of your mind, right, I bought this on Monday, right, by Wednesday, that needs to be in my store. And that does mean that it might be longer hours. It might be a case that theoretically, it might even be a case that you're actually buying too much and you can't process it enough. You can't process it quickly enough, or you're actually trying to list too many items and not being able to process it. So it is it's super important to make sure that whatever you buy you can actually get it into your store pretty pronto. Because unfortunately, I do see people, and it kind of like sometimes I see people with massive, like, I'm going to call it death pile. That's what it is. A queue or a money pile implies that that's going to be like dealt with. Unfortunately, there is lots and lots of people who get to a point where it becomes honestly unmanageable, and that's not a great position to be in. Sometimes I would always say, look, it might be worth actually, do you know what, like getting someone to come in and actually clear a load. Like, you might get some money for it, but the whole processing of like physically getting it done into your store and trying to make you money is more important than actually building up a massive pile. I'd rather like not actually hit my target than actually start having like huge amounts of stuff that I can't process. So yeah, that's number 3. All right, what we got? We got anything else? Dan Morn. So Tommy, clearing through old listing highlights my bad pickups in the past, although I source now so much better. My eye has been refined. It takes time. It honestly does, and I would definitely say to anyone out there, don't go beating yourself up over it. I think this is definitely a learning process. It takes time. You can't just expect to be like the world's best like Vinted seller or the world's best like eBay seller. You have to learn the craft. You have to learn what it takes. So in the beginning, absolutely every single one of us will make mistakes. There's no two ways about it, including me. I made some huge amounts of like mistakes, picking up things that I thought was going to be like sell really quickly and basically didn't sell at all. Gary, thank you for that. You're welcome. When I was everything set up, I found packing easy size. I have big enough packaging area. I think that's where people fail. I think that's absolutely like spot on, and that comes into like the efficiency as well. I think Secret Carpers like got it like spot on. So if you've got enough space, so you need the space to be able to like deal with these bits. You need the packaging. You actually need like the materials, so it might be bubble wrap, and I think it absolutely can. But that also comes into your whole storage. If you've got a massive warehouse, then I think it's absolutely doable. But if, like a lot of us, like kind of like including me, I basically I run out of a garage, so space is absolutely an issue for me. I need to like definitely like be careful, but I do agree. I think that's a really good one, which is to like make sure that you've got enough space to do your packaging, and there's nothing worse. And I think in my video sometimes I'm trying to like pack up like larger items in the normal area. I just don't, and that's why it becomes so like annoying to try and get your bubble wrap out. But if you've got a massive table, definitely easier. So in the old listings, maybe reduce price and sell similar. Yeah, definitely. So like in Jaws at the moment for women. Yeah, like there's definitely like I think I picked up a Jaws quilted jacket the other day. So yeah, definitely. I think there's always like things that are going to do well. We start reducing dispatch time from 3 days to 1 working day. Sales are up. Yeah, that's definitely like something that I would kind of like without a doubt look into when it comes to kind of dispatch time, which Dan, thank you. That leads me like nicely on to my next one. Ship items as soon as possible. So same day is best. So it is. I think what I'm trying to do is actually create the best experience for the customer. What is the best experience? Well, let's face it. Why do pretty much all of us choose to use Amazon? Because 9 times out of 10, you'll get it the next day. Are we in a position to be able to do exactly the same? Potentially, like kind of like it could be close, but not always. But what is going to be better is actually to get it to that customer like as soon as you possibly can. So for me personally, like for a long time, probably for a couple of years, I've actually had same day dispatch. So if anything sells up until 7 a.m. in the morning, I would then make sure that item gets pushed out, and actually I will like pack it and get it to the, so ideally the customer will get it next day. Now I am trialing something different, which is instead of doing same day dispatch, I'm trialing 2-day dispatch. But I'm still sending out like items on a daily basis. So you might actually go, well, what's the point in that? Why don't you just like stick with like the same day handling and not do like 2-day dispatch? The reason being is because I'm trialing it to see if it physically helps me. Not for the customer, okay, this is for me personally. Can I actually say to myself, right, okay, like I would like to take my lovely wife out for the weekend. If I sell something on, say, a Thursday, like that still needs to go out on a Friday. Whereas if I've got 2 days dispatch, I sell that item on a Thursday, that then won't need to be dispatched until Monday. So theoretically, if I want to take a weekend off, if I want to go away for like a few days, it's a lot easier than actually like thinking, oh, blimey, like I can't go away on a Friday because like, I've still got parcels to do. So far, I've been doing that for probably about 6 weeks now, I think. And honestly, I haven't really seen that much difference. So sales have still been like good. And the feedback that I've received so far is that because like customers are like getting estimated delivery, but they're getting it quicker, they seem to be like more happy that it's actually arrived quicker than they was expecting it to. So at the moment, it seems to be more positive, but I will like kind of like once I've done it for more of a longer term, I will definitely come back to people. But for me personally, like kind of like trying to get that item to the customer as quickly as possible, like it has got to be the right one. What have we got else? Right, that's a good question from Rob. Hi, Simon. Did paying VAT hurt your business? Did you hold below the level to begin with? Did it hurt my business? I think the honest answer is yes. It's as simple as that. And I don't like kind of like want like people to like to go into something like that and be under any illusion that it's not an absolute suck, because like fundamentally as a business you get absolutely nothing back for it. So you're paying the government like a percentage of your turnover, which you get like absolutely nothing. So did it hurt to begin with? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was tough. I got to a certain level, and it was like I was in a nice financial position, and everything was all going like right and good. But my sales were just going up and up and up and up, which is great. But did I actually like consider like trying to like kind of like keep under? I kept under as long as I possibly could. Like, but what I didn't want to do is like jeopardize my eBay account. But also I didn't want to just try and keep under. I am personally, I'm trying to like grow a business that will be sustainable over years and years and years, not just like for a short period of time. Have I managed to get through it? Yeah, pretty much. I've been VAT registered now for a year and a bit, I think it is. I'm just about to, I've got my next VAT bill, which is just about to come out in the next like week or so. So yeah, it's never fun actually paying like for something that you're not going to get anything back for it. But I'm now in a financial position that I've got to, I've gone through the VAT threshold, gone above it, and now I'm in a position that I'm better off than when I was actually before I was VAT registered. So I would always like say to people, without a doubt, look, don't be scared of like kind of VAT. You just have to work out how you can overcome it. Definitely not easy. Definitely, I had like sleepless nights. I kind of like definitely had like some worrying times. But if you're a business owner and like if you're doing this full time, then it's one of those things. Like you just have to deal with it and actually like just get on with it. So, but yeah, good question, Tommy. What do you think of old stock where you paid too much? What do you do with old stock where you paid too much? A couple of things, and that absolutely does happen. I try my best not to, but I'll be lying if I said that something. For me, what I would do is that I will slowly do a markdown sale. So I will start reducing it until it becomes like bonkers cheap. If it still doesn't sell on eBay, so like when I mean by bonkers cheap, if it's like £5, something like that, and it's still not selling, I have been known to actually do auctions, so 99p auctions, just to try and get rid of it. If that doesn't sell, I'll probably take it out of my store, put it into a pile, and then once a year, I'll go down to the down to the car boots. I'll do like a car boot for everything 50p a piece, just to try and recoup some of it. And anything that doesn't go, then I'll probably take it to cash for close, just to see if I can get a bit more money. But for me, like it is very much a case of like just like trying to deal with it. Which is Dan, like everyone is being like absolutely spot on when it comes to my next one, which is number 5. No items in your store older than 365 days. So this can, without a doubt, be changed. You might actually go like, oh, do you know what? Like, I don't want to keep something for a whole year. Like, I want to get it sold, which I'm of the opinion as well. I definitely want to get it all sold like as soon as possible. But there are some things that will take longer. There will be like to find that certain person, to find that kind of like that individual who wants this, like it might be a slightly rarer item, but you might actually go, right, do you know what? I don't want anything longer than 6 months old. But you might also go from conversely, do you know what? Okay, I'm happy. I've got all the space in the world. Like I'm happy to wait 3 years like for this to sell. And that might be something to actually like consider, like think, but for me, I don't want anything in my store that's over a year old. And as I just said, like how do I process that? Markdown sales, auctions, taking it to car boot sales, cash for clothing, Facebook Marketplace. You can even like try like your hand at like a little bit of wholesale, just do like a bundle on eBay as well. But it is all okay unless you've got like huge amounts of like warehouse or you've actually got loads of like storage. Then for me personally, you might as well like keep it turning over. Like get your store like kind of like rocking and rolling, get it out as quickly as you possibly can. What else got? Tommy, on same day with 10 a.m. cut off, I found it. I get a bunch of sales around 9 to 10 period. When it's 7-day cut off, didn't get any sales. I think it's interesting. I'm always like worth actually testing out things like that. So like, what does like times like make a difference, or does it actually like push the algorithm? Amazing. Honestly, think Rob. Yeah, I assume that's like the VAT. I think it's important to like talk to people who know what they're talking about, and I don't claim to be like, I'm definitely still like learning that side of it. So definitely accountants, or just reach out to people like and the bigger sellers, like people who've gone through this for multiple years, because there are people out there who actually do it. So yeah, like definitely worth it. Is it still the case that you only pay VAT on profit when dealing second-hand goods? Is that in the 90s? Gary, I wish. Unfortunately, no, that isn't the case. So, like, what happens is that the government will you pay VAT on your turnover of any item you sell. So, for example, like if I sold £1,000 worth of items, the VAT on that one would have to be paid on the overall price, not on the profit. So it may well have been like previously you actually only paid profit. You only paid VAT on the profit, but now no, it's actually on the turnover, which is like pretty horrendous, I have to say. So if you're doing like kind of like £100,000 a year, like that's a few grand like every quarter. So, and I pay every quarter, every 3 months is when I have to pay. So yeah, it's again, like, I don't want to like kind of get too het up about it. It is one of those things, unfortunately, that does happen. Do you source much from Vinted? Wannabe Jedi? Great question. Like, really good. I was heavily into buying from Vinted, and I know lots of people, including like lots of my friends that I talk to on a daily basis, who do this regularly. Like, that buying on Vinted to sell onto eBay is absolutely like a viable method, without a doubt. Do I do it? I used to, but I've pretty much like taken that out of my business now. For me, I still have this thing in my head that what I'm trying to do is actually keep my costings as low as possible to maximize my return, but also to keep my turnover down as well. So I'm not looking to try and buy something for 10, 12, 15 pounds off Vinted to sell for 50 to 60 pounds on eBay, which is nothing wrong with that. That's a great like business model. But what I don't want to do is actually like suddenly like have £300,000 worth of turnover, and then I have to pay even more VAT on that side of it. Whereas if I'm trying to like keep like if I'm buying something from the boot sale, car boots, and my average cost of goods, so like say £4, and I'm selling for 25, that will then get me to like that like £15 profit. Now at that, so my turnover should be like kept down because the overall price of the thing I'm selling isn't super high. So granted, like it's one of those. There's lots of different like models you can actually use it, but for me personally, like I struggle with Vinted now because like my eyesight is getting even worse. I really struggle like trying to do this on the Vinted app. So for me, no, I don't do it very often. Tommy, how do you ensure you keep the money that you make? I'm approaching debt-free and want to make sure I stay cash flow positive. Do you use pots for sourcing budget, wages, 10%, or a set? None. So do you? So if I'm going to be brutally honest, that I'm in a nice position that the business is like ticking over quite nicely now, that I don't really like give myself budgets when it comes to like my sourcing side of it. If I suddenly like see something that I need to like invest in, for example, if I suddenly like someone had like 100 rab jackets, but they wanted £2,500. Like, for me, that's an absolute no-brainer. Yep, I'm buying that all day long. Okay, and I'm in a nice position that I would actually. Whereas if you give yourself budgets, which is to begin with massively important, you need to make sure that you do like keep like that that amount under control. What you don't want to do is overspend. But do I do it anymore? No, I'm in a nice enough position that I don't need to. So, but usually, like I will know what I'm going to be spending each week. I will know how much I'm going to be spending each month. So, do I think it's like worth actually putting pots to the thing? Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to kind of the wages and that side of it, you've just got to pay yourself like and like that. I think you just got to like try and be as frugal as you possibly can, just like keep under control of the money. Once you get to a position, and I'm definitely not in that position, that then maybe like start to like investing in other things, not just like stock and eBay, that side of it. How many shipping options do you provide for your buyer? One. I think I only do one shipping option. Yeah, that's a good question as well, actually, because I do know that you can put it so that if you want like next day delivery, all that side of it. But mine, I just have like one blanket. And I do charge. I charge every single item, even if it like weighs really heavy or if it's like super light. I do one ship. I charge £3.97 for my shipping. Sometimes I win because I will actually earn a little bit of money from the shipping. Sometimes I will lose because it'll go over. So if it's going to like Northern Ireland, something like that, or the Outer Hebrides, then like it may cost me a little bit more. But 9 times out of 10, I will actually like kind of like make a little bit of money, like not quite £1, but so it's definitely worth it. But is it something that I would need to like look into? Potentially, yeah, it might be something to actually look into a little bit more. So yes, I used to have to separate my new sales with pre-owned sales as VAT was different for each category. Yeah. Kaylee the retailer, this does not look like Newcastle to me, Simon. Don't keep saying it. I know it's not Newcastle, and I would love to go to Newcastle. Kaylee, I hope you're well. Hope you're getting stuff sorted. I know like there's lots of talk in the community at the moment about VINTED. Yeah, that's absolutely kind of like horrendous. I'm not going to go into it, but if you follow Kaylee's Instagram, yeah, she's having like a horrible time of it. So my heart goes out, and hopefully get it sorted soon, Kaylee. Dan, if you reach a 90k turnover, what does that equate to in profit after fees posted? I'm trying to get an idea of where I want to be in 2026. It depends. It honestly really does depend. Like, because that 90 grand turnover, you might actually spend £60,000 on stock, and like after your postage, you're basically going to make no money whatsoever. So you need to be understanding, and I can't tell you what this is. All you need to do is actually try and work out. It's a bit of a cop-out answer, my apologies, but you just need to work out, for example, right, if you know that you purchase X amount of items at X amount of price, and you sell all those, and your profit margins are X, you need to then like work out actually like how much like things like VAT costs. It is complicated, right? So I'm not certainly going to like sit here. Do I think that on £90,000 I'm getting rich like when it goes to VAT? No, definitely not. Are you over minimum wage? Should be, yeah, definitely. But are you like I'm driving around in a Lamborghini? Hell no. No, I'm nowhere near that point even now. So apologies, it's not really an answer, but it really does depend. Like, and it depends on like, because there are other people who really like get into like who have such small margins but sell huge amounts, and that's absolutely like a business you can run. You might actually sell hardly any items, but the value and the profits are ginormous. Again, that's just another business model. So you just need to like work out what your profits are going to be. Have you done bulk buying, i.e. Fleek? No, never done like Fleek. I have tried a couple of like wholesale bundles before. Personally, they've always been rubbish. I've never yet actually found like a bulk buy. I'm sure there are people actually out there who will like kind of swear by them, but for me personally, I think I'm too much of a control freak, and I need to be like looking and touching and feeling every single item that goes into my store. But that's just me. How important international selling? For me, for my business, like very important. I actually do sell a lot internationally. I would say, like, does it like, and it's a good like and like point to bring up actually about the all the new regulations. I've not really been very vocal about it, and the reason for that is because I'm the same as everyone else. I think. Okay, I don't really know. Like, I think it's so badly like kind of been organized and arranged, and the information out there is so woefully inadequate. I've tried a few things and like tried to get some information, but it's so confusing. So at this precise moment, we've got another just over a month and a bit until we need to like do something about it. Majority of my sales internationally like don't even go to Europe. I do sell to Europe, but majority actually go to America. So it kind of scares me that like, you know, that I'm even contemplating about actually turning off Europe, because that's basically like sales that I'm missing out on without a doubt. But until they can actually like sort what the best way of it is, and I can't even, I've tried to like fill out the forms. I can't even get the information. I've called up eBay to try and get some clarification of like, where do I get this information from? And they go, oh, just read the guide, which doesn't tell you anything. So, so yes, I do think it is important. I do like really like international sales. I use like global shipping, GSP, but yeah. I think it's all up in the air at the moment. Hunley, she sells car parts. Morning, Simon. Good morning, Hunley. Dan, thanks for the answer. You're welcome. Have you stock level got really low before? Depends on what you class as really low. I think when I was doing the VINTED model, I got down to what did I get down to? I think it's just under 1,000 items in my store. So currently I'm at 1,400, and that's a reasonably nice level for me to be, because I'm listing 15 a day, and on average I'm selling between 12 and 15 a day. So I'm at something they would probably class as nirvana. So I'm reasonably happy that my store is not particularly growing and it's not shrinking. So it's in a reasonably, I think, do I want to like increase that? Yeah, absolutely. But do I have like the facilities to actually like push it up massively? Not really at the moment. That's another like. Someone asked me what my goals were for 2025. I haven't actually physically sat down and like considered those as of yet. Right, let's go on to like the next one. Right, so list regular amounts each day. I personally list 15 a day. That doesn't mean you have to like kind of aspire or like trying to get that one. There are people in this, even in this chat, who do huge amounts more than me, like vast amounts. But there are also lots of other people who do a lot less. Now, it's nothing wrong, okay, with doing 2, 3, 4, 5 a day. Okay, it's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with doing like 50, 60, 80, 200 a day. Like, it's absolutely doable. But what you do need to do is make sure that you can physically like keep up that consistency. I think in all walks of life, consistency is more important than anything else. I really do. Like, I think if you for eBay, so I can only like really talk about eBay because I don't list on any other platforms. I only list on eBay. I've noticed that with consistent like uploads of items, eBay will give me consistent traffic. That being said, like there are like peaks and troughs, and sometimes but if you look over a longer period of time, they will give you like kind of that regular kind of like eyes on the your products. And if you've got good products that people want and desire, and if the price is right, you're going to get sales as well. So for me, I think it's super important to actually list on a regular basis, but also think myself, James, Bold Finds, and Waters Clubber, Luke, we all kind of like went, I don't want to say like kind of went a bit like Banzai, where we weren't in a position to actually do what we were saying. We went from 12 listings a day up to 20 in like a matter of like in a day. We decided, right, okay, we're cruising along here, we're not doing this right, we need to like be up in our listings. So we went from 12 to 20. That I wouldn't say like it was even close to actually breaking my business, but that was a real tough time for me, because what I was doing was like my cash flow, I was buying more items than so the cost, like what I was spending out on, the sales didn't catch up. So I was buying loads more, but the sales like didn't catch up. So I was actually every single day I was spending more money than I was actually making. So for me, like kind of like that was thing. So if you can like increase like slowly, but you do it safely, that I think is like more important personally. So listing regular, I think has a massive like kind of benefit. I really do. Right, what we got. Right, so comment section bingo. Morning, Simon. Do you adjust your expected profit due to the season with boot sales? Expect start of season more choice, can be more picky this time of year. Any small profit take? That is like definitely something like that you would need to just to try and work out if that's the direction you want to go for. If like the stock is really difficult to get hold of, you may well have to actually take some slightly smaller margins. But you're right, when the boot sales are back, then you can actually, there's an abundance of like stock. You can be more picky. You can actually like try and get like better offers. Then, yeah, definitely. I think. Do I personally? I try not to. During the winter months when it's actually there's not boot fairs. What does that mean to me? Unfortunately, it means more work. It means it's harder. It means I physically have to go out to more charity shops. I have to like put in like more effort to actually to try and like get these items. So definitely not easy. Do I compromise on it? I try not to. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. So like there are times when I do like make mistakes and get it wrong. Lee Smithers, Discourse Marketplace are doing something regards GPR unlike eBay. Discourse Marketplace are doing something regards GPSR unlike eBay. Yeah, I'm really like I'm watching a lot of like kind of other YouTubers. I'm kind of like trying to actually get as much information as I possibly can, but yeah, it's so confusing. I looked at my EU sales, they're tiny, less than 4%. Do if you have to turn them off. I will. If you want to know the report, give me a shout. I'll talk you through it. Ian, thank you. That really is like appreciated. I think I kind of like know what my. I don't think I'm much off that. I think I'm at like 6% of my sales go to Europe. So it's not a big part of it at all. Applied for Vinted Pro, but didn't expect my upload. They didn't accept my uploaded info. Didn't say why. Trying again for the third time. It is a real. Like, I hear so many people like having like real issues with like Vinted at the moment. I'm the first one to like say that I applauded Vinted for coming out and actually like with the Vinted Pro. I think but I also think they are woefully lacking when it comes to kind of like any of their back end stuff. I think they're all very good about like getting the money and like trying to like pushing out sales and all that side of it. But when it comes to customer service or anything like this, like verifying and thing, I think it's an absolute joke. I really do. I'm not a big fan of it at all. I recently had someone ask me like if it was like kind of working like fine, would I jump ship and like go over to Vinted? Look, I'm not daft. Like at some point, like I may well like kind of like test it out, but at the moment, I think it's like it's a too scary place for me. I've just there's people like kind of like Vinted are holding on to like huge amounts of money. Like we're talking multiple thousands of pounds that people are actually waiting for because they can't verify stuff. It's a joke. It really is. So I'm not a big fan at the moment. I will always be, well, not always. Okay, at the moment, I'm still like firmly in the kind of the corner of like eBay. eBay has been very good to me. Every time, like it does what I need it to do. It's a vehicle for me to actually move like my stock. And look, I will sell something, and even before I've sent that like that item to the customer, I've got the money in my bank account. Even before like that customer's even, I could still be like having it in my house. So I can go out and buy something else in that period of time. So yeah, it's definitely like something that I am a real advocate for eBay. Like, do I think it's perfect? No. Do I think they've actually got like a long way to go? There's definitely still things they need to kind of like address, but I think Vinted is even more of it. It's like the Wild West at the moment, I think, personally. Hunley, wait, what? Number 6? Yes, Hunley. I'm just doing a little bit of a my personal business policies. These are not eBay policies. These are like what I try to like, how I try to run my business. So I've been going through things like, for example, like sourcing items that meet my metrics, shipping orders on the same day. What else do we do? That processing items within 48 hours so you don't get a death pile. So that's what we've just been going through. So thank you for the thing. So like that's a great time to actually go on to the next one. Number 8, update financial spreadsheet each day. Now I know a lot of people like kind of like have the intentions of doing this, but don't. So you don't actually have to have a spreadsheet, but I think being aware of your numbers is massively important. Being able to like kind of like understand that if you're like not making money by the end of the week, or if you're overspending, or if you've got a spreadsheet and you keep regular like data, you will be able to like see trends. So for example, like I now confidently can tell you like how much I spend on my items as an overall, so as an average. So for the past kind of like 6 months, I'm now at £4.88 is my average buy cost, because what I've done is worked out on each month how much I'm spending in total, and then I will just divide that by how many items I picked up and actually like what my overall spend was, and that will give me an average. So as I say, like £4.88. So I can now confidently go out and actually go, right, on average, I'm spending £4.88 on an item, and I need to sell that for £25. If I then actually like can like pick up something that's going to be more than that, I can still go, oh, do you know what, this is £10 for this one, but I'll still probably like kind of like as an overall, I'll still be able to like get my £15 out of it. So that's like kind of like that. So that's why I think it's important. It's not everyone. There are different ways of doing it. You can use there's software that you can use like QuickBooks or Xero. So I use personally, I do use QuickBooks, but that's more to do with the accountant side of it. So for me personally, I keep a track on how many items I sell a day, how many items I pick up per day, my buy costs each day, my average like cost. Then I've got how much VAT I have to pay each day, my gross sales, my net sales. So I will put this all into thing, and shout out to Bold Finds as well. So James actually done a video on this one. So go back to like some of his older ones, and he actually did produce a a Google document on it. So I use that regularly, and it's been such like a help. I had one previously, but this one was just like even more kind of like in depth. So super helpful. So James, thank you. I really do appreciate you putting that together for us. Right, where are we? Let's have a quick look, see where I am. Sorry, if I feel like I'm going through a patch at the moment, to be honest. I had a super aggressive period, go. Now I think I'm having a little go period after the hype, trying to like find that middle point. You just have to like kind of find what works for you. I think, and that's the thing. I'm going to like be putting out a new video probably early part of next week, which is going to be like a real different type of video. So it's not even going to be like reselling related. It's more kind of health related, a little bit about me, kind of what's going on with me, and like how I need to like kind of change some things in my life. So I'm going to like kind of start a new series starting next week, but it's so like the whole kind of like working all the time, which I'm absolutely like kind of the one who I do struggle with that. I find it incredibly difficult to actually slow down and stop. But I need to think. But Tommy, yeah, you'll find your middle ground. Yeah, you will find out what's important and what's not. 52 viewers, only 9 likes. Let's let them. Well, that's very kind. Yeah, if you wouldn't mind like putting a like on, that'd be amazing. Good morning, Simon. What are some things you send internationally versus some stuff you don't? I personally send everything. Like I have my global shipping turned on for every single item in my store. I don't think there's anything. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I don't. No, because I don't sell kind of like breakables. I'd be absolutely petrified to be selling I don't know, a plate or a mug or something electronic like internationally. So as a general rule, I sell everything. The Orient, how do you show your cash payments without receipts as expenses? So my account deals with that side of it. So what I try to do is like if I draw out money from the cash machine on my QuickBooks, I can then actually go on to there to actually say that I've used that for stock. I have in the past been asked to send the accountant pictures of like stock. So in other words, like if I've been to the car boot, then I'll actually fill up the boots, okay, take a few pictures like of the boot, and then I'll send it to the accountant, and they will actually just put that on record. But it's a real it is a grey area, like that. It is like kind of like easy to take the mickey out of that one. But me personally, my account, and I say I use Bofix, they're pretty straightforward. They will actually go, right, okay, like if he's drawing out money, and I try to draw out money either the night before or the morning of the car boot. So for example, if I'm taking out £200, okay, they can see that like it's a Saturday evening, I'm drawing out £200. And then what I will do on my QuickBooks, I will then allocate that into like for stock. So that hopefully that helps. Come to think, on the flip side, you're a valued business seller of eBay, and you can't provide you with any more info than the fact that Jupiter all platforms will have flaws. Yeah, I do agree. Like, yeah, I think like that it's not just Vinted, like kind of like that adds issues. I think eBay like definitely has issues as well. And yeah, you're quite right. And I think even if you do speak to like people right at eBay, honestly, I don't think they know. Like they just like I'm glad it's not a case of being like obtuse or like they're trying to be like kind of like not helpful. I just don't think they know. Like, and I think that is where it really is breaking down quite badly. Right, where we at? Update things. So number 9, we're getting near the end now. Right, so number 9. I think this is like, I wouldn't say this is a business policy. This is just like kind of a habit, something that is a good idea to actually do. If you are sourcing, okay, always ask if there is any more. So if you suddenly like pick up like something, you go, oh, this is amazing, kind of, and you can do that, I think, anywhere. So I've done it in charity shops. Like I've gone to like another thing. Oh my god, I love this like kind of like thing. Is there any more right out the back? Ask if there's any more. Like you can, or that conversation might actually get you more. Car boot sales, like exactly the same. Like kind of like, oh blimey, yeah, I can see you've got a few. Like any more? Yeah, I was going to put it onto Vinted, but do you know what? I think I'll come and buy it from you. So always like kind of like make a point of asking like if there is any more, because that can absolutely lead like to like some amazing like pickups. It's definitely like helped for me. It really has. So yeah, that was thing. And we are now at number 10. I'm going to go straight onto it. It's a bit of a weird term, but I do try to actually do something called like reset to zero each day. At the end of my working day, what does reset to zero mean? So I want to make sure that my whole area is clear and tidy. I will empty my bin, making sure there's nothing in there, tidy up any bits and pieces as much as I possibly can. I'm in a little bit of a kind of, I don't know if you've like spotted, but those of you like who've seen this before, I'm like in a little bit of a kind of thing because I'm moving things around. This was where my photo station was. That has now changed to over in this position, so it's next to me, but I'm still not 100% sure. I'm going to be like moving the whole kind of like room around. I might even move this desk to like somewhere else. I just want to make this like the most efficient I possibly can. I'm incredibly lucky that I do have this room that I can use as my office. So here is where I process everything. I will do my listings. I can actually all my photographs and do all my listings. I've got all my light set up, like, so I don't need to like dismantle anything. And I do know that I'm lucky. I'm in a very fortunate position that I've actually got this. But I do want to like make it like work a little bit better. I'm looking to like potentially get a new carpet and like redo the walls, and so it just needs something. It's one of those things to actually. So reset to zero, making sure that you're all ready for the next morning, including like because I take pictures on my dedicated camera. So this will like it's got an SD card. I'll make sure that the SD card is all clear. So ready like for the next day. I'll make sure that the items I want to photograph are ready for the next day as well. So that will be what I'll class as reset to zero, making sure that your working day is finished, and then I'm ready like to start work at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day. So that is fundamentally like my kind of rules. Has anyone else got any other rules that they actually kind of like would stick by? Is there anything you actually go like, do you know what? Okay, like I always do this and it really helps. Because I'd love to like see what else other people have got and what they do. Let's have a look, see if I've missed anything. Right, so comment section. Agree on completing financials every day, regardless of business. However, do not obsess over daily figures, instead monthly or even better quarterly compared to sample size is key. I agree. Yeah. So I do it on a daily basis, but I do like it takes me, and this is like this is no like complete joke. Okay, I spend no more than a minute each day on it. I don't even think it takes me a minute. So all I will do is I will go on to my performance tab on eBay. I will choose the previous day, and then I can see how many I've sold. I can get all my information that I need on there. For example, like my gross sales, my net sales, how many I've sold. Yeah, like that's all I need. It's so quick. But at the end of the month, then I can actually tally it all up. And like I've the formula of the thing, it actually formulates everything at the bottom as well. So it's ridiculously like quick. Kevin's in. Good morning, Kevin. Come from Lakeland, Florida. Why do people keep doing this to me? I love I love it when people are kind of like far away, because yeah, I love Florida. I actually don't know where Lakeland in Florida is. Like I do know that Florida had some awful time with the weather recently. So Kevin, I hope you're all good and life is like kind of like treating you well. Dan, Bolton car boot are staying open until the 8th of December, but I think a few will be called off. Bolton, how far is Bolton for me? Probably a little bit of a trek. But that being said, it's probably about Bolton, what's it going to be? 4 to 5 hours for me, I would have thought. But like if you listen to like any of Tech and Sports his YouTube videos, he will like make a point of actually like traveling like 4 or 5 hours just to go to like one boot sale, and that'll be like start at 4 o'clock in the morning. So like it's different how we are like different countries are like treated like traveling differently. Like in the UK, like traveling an hour, that's a long distance. So clear environment, clear mind. I'm 100% like a firm believer of that. I do think it is like kind of like making sure that everything is tidy. Was it Secret Carper who said about like having like space? If you've got clear space, like any job is so much easier. It really is. If there's ever a message complaint so that gets your backup, wait at least 30 minutes before responding, ensure all motions have been removed. What a great like business policy. I like that. I really do. I think that can absolutely put it. If you know that like kind of like you're going to get riled up, if you know that you're going to like get emotional about it, absolutely take a little time out, like kind of like take 30 minutes, just because 30 minutes is not going to make a blind bit of difference. But just compose yourself, and then they actually go, right, Joe, right, what is the thing? So yeah, Tommy, really good one. I like that a lot, actually. Gary, I've just purchased a Vendu for $16.99. Right, so far so good for cross listing. Gary, yeah, I hear lots of different people talking about cross listing at the moment, just because you've got like VINTED as well. I've never used one, and that is because I've never actually cross listed. So I've only ever like used eBay. So in that instance, I can't comment. I don't know anything. But $16.99, that doesn't sound like too horrendous actually. So as long as it does one thing, I would always just be like super careful, relying on something else or someone else that potentially can like get you into trouble. So I'd always be like, just make sure that your understanding is doing what it's supposed to do. Like regular checks is like definitely what I would suggest about that one. Barbara, if you live in a poor area up north like I do, you're not going to find designer labels in charity shops. Are you ever going to do it? Depends, because I know like that there are absolutely, and I do travel to, there are definitely some like less affluent areas. Like I'm living in the south of England, I think people think it's like paved with gold. Like I think like the cost of living is like so horrendous down here. But are there like lots of designer labels? Yeah, definitely, like that without a doubt. But I also think that if you have the ability to travel, like I don't think you need to go too far to find these honey holes. there are absolutely like some of these little villages, like on the outskirts of like these like less like kind of like affluent areas. And I've been to like like kind of like these rundown places, and sometimes you can actually find it. Unfortunately, okay, it's a case of like putting in the effort, and it probably means like putting in more effort if you are kind of like in those kind of areas. But I know full well that what's it like Polly, Sam, she regularly, like she lives like kind of like up north as well, but she regularly like does come down to like the south. Granted, I think she's got like family down here, but she will make a point of actually like traveling from one area to another because she knows that this area is better for stock. So yeah, it's tough. Or what Barbara I would suggest is that in that instance, if there really is very little out there, okay, have a go at like an online sourcing. Try and learn like Vinted, like try and learn how to actually like snipe online, because like I know people who actually like do exclusively like they buy from Vinted to sell on eBay and make a huge amount of money. So just because like you live in kind of like an area that might not be as desirable charity shops, sometimes you just have to pivot. Maybe you just have to like look at like wholesale. Maybe you have to look at different avenues. So yeah, it's tough. There's no two ways about it. I'm in Lancashire, but Bolton's an hour drive away. Nice. Dan, we've made a change. We finished at 7 p.m. to watch TV or film. Recently, we've still been listening at 1 a.m. We've become exhausted. Yeah, I think if you can actually have a hard cut off your day, I think that can only be a good thing. I really do. I haven't been able to work that one out yet. I'm still in like absolute kind of work mode, but like just spending time with friends and family and loved ones, I think is super, super important. I really do. And if you can actually like give yourself some downtime, so like 7 o'clock at night, watching a bit of TV, watching a bit of Netflix, yeah, I think that's a really good thing to actually do, and I do like that, and that's something that I might even like consider like putting that into my business policies. It's just like trying to work out how to do it, but yeah, it will. If you're like listening till 1 o'clock in the morning, I've done that like multiple times. Yeah, it does become tiring without a doubt. Redlands and Clifton area in Bristol are very high-end areas, multi-million houses, estates. 20 minutes down the road, you have the complete opposite. Yeah, it's like it's no matter where you live, you will absolutely find places that are incredible. You will find places that are absolutely horrendous and really difficult. Where in Lancashire you lay? On right, I'm gonna like look like an absolute imbecile, like, but is that Floyd Coast? That's how I'm gonna like pronounce it. South Shore, Preston and Blackpool. Been to Blackpool. I have been there. Lee, I have a charity shop on the South Shore to check out. It's on my to-do list. Usually a proper breakfast, bike ride, shower, drop off parcels before 10 every day. Great. Dan, I absolutely respect that. I think that's a really good goal to have. I think if you actually like, and I think they say like if you do it like for a certain amount of time, it becomes the norm. But yeah, like if you can like get a like everything authored that by 10 o'clock in the morning, that will then give you the opportunity to source for the rest of the day. Like that, you might have to like do like a bit of listing as well, but you can even do that at the end of the day. But sourcing, yeah, that will absolutely, that's going to be like good for your soul. Like so, like it's good for your health. It's going to be like having a dedicated time to actually sit down and actually have something like proper like breakfast as well. Yeah, I think that's such a good idea, and I like that a lot actually. That I think that's something that I want to like get back into as well. I want to like try and have my mechanical parts of my business done earlier. At the moment, I'll probably by about 10 o'clock. I am done, but I'd like to actually get that like kind of done a little bit earlier as well. Even by now, if it could be 9 o'clock, that'd be amazing. Tommy says that sounds great. Yeah, I agree. That does. Blackpool Prom on my doorstep. I need to use it a lot more. Yeah, I kind of like think you could like get into like rollerblading or like kind of power walking. Power walking always looks a bit weird. Right. Okay. I think we've got to the end of the questions, and I've come to the end of my my list. So please do feel like leave some comments about kind of like what other things you would actually put into your business plan, and I think it's just worth actually having a think about it. There's a few of us like we're talking about like kind of working on your business and working in your business. It's a bit of a weird term, but instead of actually being like I've got to do this, got to do the thing, it's actually like trying to think like out the box and actually go, right, okay, do you know what? Okay, like if I do this, will it improve my business that much more? So definitely like that's something to like consider. If you do come up with anything, you can like put them in the comments. Be like lovely to like read it. I'll always like kind of like try and reply if I can, but life is always quite busy as well. So what we've got last couple, I think I'm going to use your rules as my reseller commandments. Reseller commandments. Wow. Now that is bold. Going to write them down and check them off every day. I need to be more accountable for this. Just on that, okay, so I do have, like, I'm going to like, do a little bit of a turnaround, okay, on my awful, I think. So on my whiteboard, okay, I actually do have my business rules like written down. So I look at those every single day. Do I kind of write them off? No, but I've got to the point where I know what I need to like do each day. But Tommy, I think that's a great idea. Yeah, definitely like consider like the whole like kind of like writing them down. But yeah. Rita there, thanks for sharing. Appreciate that. Dan, lovely chats on a Saturday. Glad. Hopefully that Saturday works for a lot of people. Really nice to see like so many people like in. Still got like 45 people in. I'm quite surprised at that. So I don't know. I know I kind of witter on thing, and I do sometimes get a little bit like too like passionate. I put a message like in a chat that I'm in, and I suddenly like and I thought, that doesn't come across like very good. But all I want to do is actually just get people like to try and kind of like have the best lives possible. And for me, like I get a little bit passionate about all this side of it. So sometimes like I have to like reel myself in. But hopefully this works on a Saturday, and like enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you do get out to a car boot tomorrow, hopefully it's great. But as I say, I will catch you all on the next one. Just nip in there. I'm doing a charity show at 3:30 to raise money for Stoke. So feel free to come join the party. Oh my word, we are there, Tommy. Right, so make sure that just nip in there. I'm doing a charity show at 3:30. Right, so Tommy, like, let me know. Is that on Whatnot, or is that on like anything else? Let me know like before we head off. So that's 3:30 today. How can we find you, Tommy? Is there any links you can actually put into the post? That'd be good. And if it's Whatnot, I would have hoped you've actually got some vouchers or something like that on the YouTubes. Even better. Right. So Tommy Trades on YouTube. Check him out. All for charity, mates. Again, thank you all. Okay. Hour and 24 minutes. Wow. On a Saturday. That's it. I'm going. Have a great one.